They've only just gone and done it again, ladies and gentlemen. We were this close to maintaining something, but it wasn't to be. Leicester City have just lost 2-0 to Man United, and we have some special guests, actually. So, James, would you like to introduce them?
Yeah, we've got Indie Foxes all the way from America. Hi.
How's it going?
And we've got Alex, our Canadian Fox.
Thanks for having me, guys.
That's right.
So yeah, we've got Ant as per usual as well. But yeah, I don't even know where to start with this one because we were so good at the beginning. So I think let's just start with the positives first. So I think it's over to you, Indie Fox. I think Luke Thomas had a decent game. James Justin also had a decent game. So do you think they were? It's weird to look back at it, but do you think they were one of the standout performers of this match?
I think Luke Thomas, for sure. I mean, he provided a lot at the front, and he was pretty solid at the back. I think there was one sort of questionable clearance early on, but I think he was really solid. And James Justin, just being able to show that he can play in that left central position, also, or the right central position, also on the right wing. I think they for young guys that don't get to play very often in the first team against a huge superpower that's Man United, I mean, I think they played really well. I think they definitely shown well for themselves.
Yeah, I agree. At times arguably it was the people with the most experience in this match that let us down, and that was the main issue that I had with this game. And just over to you, Alex. It's just kind of we saw Tielemans, especially in the second half, really step up and get into that positions where he was causing a lot of trouble. Did you think that potentially he could be somebody that could change the match? It could have changed the match.
For sure, I definitely would agree with that. Even with like the corner kicks and and the opportunities for the free kicks, it seemed like there was more chances every single time. Like a few times, I thought they were actually going to score. So with those opportunities, I thought he was going to be one of those opportunity makers that were going to allow us to actually get ahead in the match.
Yeah, I agree. At times, it was just it's just so frustrating being in this position where we nearly had it and it was so close, but it wasn't to be. Just so over to you, Ant. Do you think it was Leicester had a bad game or Man United had a particularly good game, or a combination of both?
I don't think we had a bad game. We created enough chances to win it. We just didn't take our chances. And against a team like United, they've got so many good players. They're always going to create chances. And I know they got the penalty, which is where the game went away from us. But even with that, like they still looked very dangerous and stuff. So with the chances, particularly the one with Iheanacho where he just had to play it across to Justin, like you've got to be taking those chances against teams like United.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Just reading out the stats now. So we've got 14 shots to their 7, 3 on target for both, 3 corners each, and 12 fouls. And we had 46% possession to their 54. So overall, just from the stats, it does look like we were actually in a decent position and had all right at times, but it just wasn't to be. And I think you were saying, like, just before that you said something changed just about a minute before we conceded the penalty. What do you think before we conceded the penalty? What do you think that was?
When I was thinking about it, it looked like they just kind of took their foot off the gas. They just kind of got sloppy with their passing, and their momentum shifted completely. And then Chowdhury had the ball, and as soon as he had it and he held on for too long, I was like, okay, this is where something's going to happen here. And well. We all saw what happened. So yeah.
And then Morgan and Evans decided to double team the striker and just completely wipe him out, which is a good tactic if you're outside the penalty box. But that was essentially, I think after that the momentum shifted. So after that, James, we've seen this time and again when Leicester go a goal down, especially after lockdown, we just don't seem like they're coming back in it. And I know Sky Sports show all the time, they go, oh, well, look how many goals Leicester scored in the last 15 minutes. Did you have any belief that we're actually going to score?
No, as we've said before many times, without a crowd there, Leicester don't do very well when they go a goal down. They need that crowd to get them back up and running. For me, we missed a huge opportunity. Both their centre backs got yellow cards. When we won the league, you'd be telling Vardy, just rustle them up a little bit. One of them will dive in, and that's a tactic I think we should have gone on. It'd have spun one of them because they're both slow and clunky. So I just think we missed an opportunity. I think creatively, we just tried to stop Fernandes and Pogba, which we did it great. But then after you stop them two, what do you do? And I think in the first half, they were struggling to get the ball to the outlets.
Yeah, and at times I felt as well, we've said this time and again, where Ndidi had, in the first half especially, a brilliant game, and he played his position so well. But at times, him and Chowdhury were arguably playing the same position in that too, and there wasn't enough going forward. So do you think it was a good point where the game was lost just by that one penalty? Or do you think before that, there was an opportunity to really get in and actually score?
The game was lost by not taking our chances.
Fair enough. So what chances do you think they could have took that they probably didn't?
The Iheanacho one, as I said before, and then we had quite a few where we were getting men forward and then just playing it into the defender when there was a cutback on as well. I can't think off the top of my head any other clear chances. The Barnes one was another huge chance as well. I know he didn't have a lot of turning room, but if he hits that anywhere else but where he hits it, that goes in. Well,
Yeah.
And Wes Morgan. It was the wrong place, wrong player at the wrong place. But it is, again, we had enough chances.
Yeah, I agree. We had enough chances to really lock the scene down, but there just seems to be something stuck in Leicester. And I don't know exactly, and just something, there's the final pass or something that earlier on in the season we could really nail, but there just doesn't seem to be this time. And I can't quite put my finger on it. I've just put something is stuck. And since the lockdown, it's just been that same way. James, just coming back to your point, do you just think it's the crowd that's making that difference and that extra push that would take us on and potentially draw some of the games we've lost or won some of the games we've drawn?
Yeah, I think potentially it's the crowd. It's also we're missing key players. Today, Man United, Ricardo would have destroyed them down the right-hand side.
Yeah.
He'd have just walked past most of them. You've got Maddison. All right, Maddison drifts in and out of games. But when he goes to the left, he takes 3 players with him, which provides a lot of space in midfield for us to take over. So I think the key players as well as our fans. But we seem to the worrying thing for me is our heads just drop really quickly. Whereas not what you kind of want in a team, you want them to keep going. But heads just seem to drop, and that's what's been disappointing for me since the restart.
Yeah, potentially. And I know that after we went a goal down, we went straight to a water break and he brought on 3 subs. So just over to Indy Fox, do you think any of them really made that much of a difference after that?
I think immediately you saw Gray and Barnes in the box. Gray made that great move down the right side into the box. It found Barnes. You know, he had the shot. You wish he could have put it somewhere else, but it's not how it felt. I think he did. I think those two came on, brought some energy real quick, brought an opportunity. I would have liked to seen Tielemans stay on instead of coming off there, though. I think we kind of lost some of our attack there. Not that Pratt couldn't do that in the midfield, but I didn't think Yuri was having a bad game. It would have been nice to see him continue.
Yeah, especially in the beginning, we were saying about him playing in that cam position, which is his preferred position. He was picking up some good pockets of space, but do you think and as well at times they weren't quite playing that right killer pass in order just to be clinical and put something past De Gea? Because we saw when he spilt it nearly into Vardy, there was an opportunity just to get it on target and then just to clean up the game at half time.
I don't think we made that killer pass, but at the same time, I don't think there was that many runs in behind. It's like James said, I would have been right on top of Maguire as soon as he got that yellow card, like running off the back of him, trying to get him to bring you down and stuff. I don't think we sort of made enough runs or sort of asked enough questions of them sort of to make a kill. So.
Yeah, I get that, and at times even like Justin was making a break forward, and I was thinking, here we go. If a back central defender is trying to make a run forward, just thinking, who else is actually going to have a go? But I don't know. It just seems disappointing. But at the same time, we're just doing what we're doing. Sorry, you're going to say something?
It's what we were talking about this morning with James, sort of off like in the group chat, saying about when we play Chowdhury, yes, we'll get that defensive side, but then we lose a lot going forward if we play Chowdhury and Ndidi together.
Yeah, and at times they were playing very close together, and I think you saw the gulf of difference between Hamza and an Ndidi, where the defensive capabilities of Ndidi were fantastic, and it did help that Bruno Fernandes was quite rubbish. From what United people are saying as well, he didn't really look the same player. And even when he was going to take the penalty, the guy looked absolutely knackered. He looked completely shot all the way through. But I think it ends 2-0. I'm kind of disappointed, but over to you, Alex. Do you think Europe is probably the better option for us, Europa League over Champions League? Because I was thinking if we do win this, then it is all hands on deck, because we have not got the squad to really compete in the Champions League at the moment.
When I think about it realistically, I think Europa is probably the best for us. And that's because we do not have the squad for Champions League. Like, we could play in the group stages, but we'd probably be manhandled. If we were facing teams like Real Madrid or Barcelona, like, we don't stand a chance. If we go to Kazakhstan in the Europa League, we might have a chance. And we still get football, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
The one thing you're saying about sort of being better set up for Europa League, but then Europa League makes the Premier League a lot more demanding in terms of squad size. So we'll be playing Thursday, Sunday, instead of sort of like Tuesday or Wednesday. So it makes it a lot more demanding in terms of we need a bigger squad if we're going to compete even in the Europa League.
And I would agree with you on that. And I think that just shows that this transfer window is going to be quite important. It's going to be a real test for Rodgers for this transfer window, and if he can actually capitalize on who we can bring to the squad.
So yeah, just speaking on that, we've got Bournemouth, we've got Norwich, and we have who else have just gone down as well? Watford have gone down. So I'll just go through. I'll start with you, James, first. Is there anybody of them three, just on a positive note, that you'd like to scram and take into our squad for if we're going to compete in the Europa League?
Possibly Cantwell's probably the only one that I'd probably take or would come. I think it's difficult there. One thing I wanted to ask you guys was that around every single home game, all our injured players have been there, but Chilwell. That to me suggests he's already gone.
Gone where? Where would he go apart from the hospital?
He's not showing up for any games. Maybe Rodgers has told him to stay away.
Well, he was at the match today.
Was it?
He was at the match today. I thought he wasn't, but I was quickly corrected on Twitter, being that he was actually at the pitch. And I was like, okay, never mind. I'm going to take it. So, but no, I've been in agreement with you with that for a while. You see Maddison there at every game, and Chilwell is nowhere to be seen. So, and the talk has been here it hasn't been for a week or two. It's been going on for a few months now. It seems that, is he going to be sold at the end of the season?
So who else would you like in this? Do you think you would like in the squad that from the relegated teams that you've seen?
That's tough. I've always liked. I do like Cantwell. He's been someone that I have kept my eye on, and I'm I'd go for him if the opportunity was there at the right price.
Fair enough. Anybody else, Indy Fox?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know who would pick out of the bottom three teams, to be honest
Fair
with
enough.
you. Cantwell's been thrown around, in watching him play against the Foxes. I don't know. Does he have the right attitude? And I haven't seen a whole lot of him play, but it just seems like, is he a good attitude to have in the team? He's had some talent, but I don't know if it'd be worth it.
We'll have to see. And I know we were talking about Sarr, so shall I give that one over to you?
Yeah, well, there's quite a few players that I'd look at, to be fair. I wouldn't sign all of them, but there's a lot of options. I'd look at Callum Wilson, because apparently he could be going as cheap as 8 million or something. from Bournemouth. I'd look Ryan Fraser again. He's going to be he could be a free signing. I wouldn't want him to be the only winger, but to add some squad depth. Then who else was it? Bournemouth,
Watford, and Norwich.
Watford. I'd look at Sarr and potentially Decore, but we don't really need anything else down the middle. And then Norwich. I've been going on about him for ages, but I'd love to try and get Buendia.
Yes, but I think he's rumoured to have already signed a contract with somebody else. But I've just realised we can end on a good note. Vardy has got the golden boot officially.
Right.
So we've won something this season, even if it's not by one team. So it came close when it was down to Aubameyang scoring 2 goals. I was like, oh no, here we go again. It's Harry Kane all again for the 2016 season. But no, he didn't manage to, even though Vardy didn't score this. So I'll give this over to you, Indy Fox, first. Is this deserved? Do you think he's been probably one of the most informed strikers in the Premier League?
I think definitely from the first half of the season, I mean, he was pretty consistent. It's been a rough going the second half, but I think we've kind of covered everything. They just kind of lost a little bit of that pop that they have, you know. I think it's well deserved. It's great to see him get something. Wish it would have been maybe a Champions League as well spot this year, but I think it'll be something to spur him on to do it again. I think we do need to get somebody else up front to help him out. It's hard to not go back to that 15-16 season and see how well he and Okazaki played together, playing off each other. And, you know, we play a different system here, but it'd be nice to have somebody a little bit more consistent up there with him to play off of.
Fair enough. I kind of agree. I think that we're lacking that big person. We're trying George Hurst a little bit, but that's kind of like, with 1-0 down, let's just stick a teenager on and see if he can run around and do something. But there wasn't really too much of an option going forward. But no, at least we've got something out of this, because it was definitely a bad way to end the season. But at the same time, we've still got Europa. That's what we wanted. We've got Jamie Vardy's got the golden boot. We reached the quarterfinal and the semi-final of the cups, which is pretty decent so far. So we've just got to kind of, I think, secure this down for the next season. But overall, I think that's my questions. Have you guys got any other questions?
Yeah, I've got one. Obviously, we missed out on Champions League, and I think that will harm us in the transfer market, but I don't know what your thoughts are on it, because I think if you can guarantee Champions League football, you can sign a lot of players. But now Europa, then I think a lot of players might not be that interested in us.
I would agree with you on that. I think there's a lot of rumors that were going around, and now with us playing in the Europa League, I think it's going to really affect us with the possibility of signing those players. And I know one player has been mentioned numerous times is Luka Jovic off of Real, but with that, I don't know if that's going to bring up a lot of problems, even signing multiple players at this point, because we're playing in the Europa League, and a lot of players would want to play in the Champions League as well.
Yeah. Go for it, Indy Fox.
On the Luka Jovic train, it'd be great to have him. I'm pretty sure he played in the Eintracht Frankfurt team that went pretty deep in the Europa League. So, you know, maybe hopefully he wants another shot at that. But I definitely think, I would always rather see our team play against the top competition, but I think skill-wise, we fit so well, I think, in that Europa league right now. And it's a net positive on the season, right? So
that's what it's
trying to be positive.
Yeah, it seems like it, but again, we've still managed to get one. And just a quick question on the Europa League, since we've got it. Do you think that there'll be much investment in the summer, or do you think they'll just do what they've done at the end of the season and bring in players like Luke Thomas and Darnell Johnson and George Hurst in comparison to actually getting other people from abroad, just because of what's happened with the coronavirus and stuff?
It's sort of a double-edged sword, because I think due to the market we're in at the moment, we're going to probably keep some players that we may have lost, like because of not being in the Champions League. But at the same time, it's going to make it a lot harder for us to buy some players. But I do think that we need to buy at least like 3 or 4 players that are going to be sort of around the squad, because even to compete in Europa League, our squad's too small at the moment.
For sure. What other positions would you like in?
I'd like a centre back who could come in who's not Ryan Bennett. Like 2 wingers and then potentially a backup striker as well.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Well, obviously we've not got Evans for the first 3 games.
Oh, yeah.
I actually said when we were watching it that could force us to sign another centre back.
Yeah, because his follow through nearly snapped the poor lad's ankles and off.
Yeah.
So I think centre back, yeah. Ricardo, hopefully PSG don't go in for him, because I think that's the only club he'd go to. But yeah, like Ant says, Champions League, you could see some of the players going, well, I want to be in the Champions League rather than stay here another season. It's just going to be one of the things. But I think on the whole, Vardy needs help. First half of the season, he was on fire and scoring everything he touched. And then when he goes off a bit, we've got no one up there with him. So it's Nacho played today, but there were some chances that he should have squared the ball, passed it back and let somebody else hit it rather than go for the difficult option. So I think we just need a bit more consistency. And 2 wingers, definitely.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. But it's ended 2-0. We've managed to not quite secure Champions League after being 14 points ahead. It's going to be one of those nights where we just got to count our luck, to be honest, that we actually stayed in. Because if this season was gone on to go 2 months, we probably would have got relegated at this rate. But yeah, it's been all right. It's been an interesting season so far. And it's finished like this, so we'll have to leave it here. So thank you, everybody, for watching. For Canadian Fox, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LCFC_Canada.
Awesome. And Indie Fox, same thing?
You can find me on Twitter at Indie Foxes.
Brilliant. Well, let's hope that we'll be able to have something better coming later, because I'm still reaping from what feels like a horrible loss. So it's been brilliant. So thank you everybody for coming on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you all in the next video with more content and hopefully more Europa League content as well. So goodbye from us.